Yeah.
What happened? Tell us exactly what happened.
So I was at British Summertime with my sister. I was very excited seeing The Killers. I've been waiting for about 10 years to see them, and there was a couple of guys next to us who were being generally pretty creepy the whole time, which is unfortunately what you get when you're out, when you're a young woman, a lot, and you kind of brush it off because that's, you know, fine. That happens a lot, and you kind of get on with it, even though it's annoying. So I did that, and then effectively they just carried on. They wouldn't stop, and then I was watching the stage, and I saw at the corner of my eye one of them had a picture on his phone he'd been sent, and it was between my legs, really well taken shot. Someone put their hands between my legs and taken a picture of my crotch. And I knew it was me straight away. So I grabbed the phone off him, we got into a bit of a scuffle, and I ran off with the phone. Some people around me in the crowd helped me. I got away from him, I got to security, gave them the phone, and then the police were called. They came very quickly, they were wonderful, they were lovely. Really just supportive and wonderful, but they asked him to delete the image off his phone, and then they kind of said, you won't really hear much from us, and then my case was closed pretty quickly. So, yeah, that was basically what happened.
Well, Gina, lovely to have you with us this morning to tell this story. What you're saying, it was news to Richard and I. I mean, I didn't know that it was a case that something like this wasn't legal. We do have a former Met Detective Chief Superintendent Sue Hill here as well this morning. Sue, why wouldn't something that seems to me so obviously invasive and as an experience very threatening, why wouldn't it be illegal?
Well, it is illegal. It's outraging public decency, and this goes on. This has been going on for years.
So why was she told that it wasn't illegal?
Well, I imagine at the time, bearing in mind on the backdrop, we've just been talking about terrorism. You're in a crowded place. You know, I'm not defending the police officers because I think we're not going to talk about that individual case now. But when you've got the backdrop of terrorism and you've got someone taking a photograph, you know, rather horrible photograph for you, obviously. However, you balance that against, if you took those two officers away and you take them away from that crowded place, it's all about priorities. And I would imagine they were looking at, I don't know, I wasn't there. They have committed offence, the guy that did this. However, it is about your priorities. Now,
so
people,
they would
if you
be
look
there
at Ascot,
in a crowded situation to make sure
I would
people
think their priority is terrorism.
But surely they could have followed it up the next day. I mean, they could have taken the guy's details, and then they could have knocked on his door when things had quietened down. I mean, no one's expecting them to do an interrogation on the spot, but they should have arrested him, cautioned him, and gone and pulled him in when things were quiet.
And do you know what happens to people who take... Look, go on a site at Ascot. I think some people are a bit naive about what's going on out there. You go to Ascot, you go to Aintree and look at the photographs that are uploaded by the media about women in knickers who you can see everything going on. There was a guy that did it 2 years ago.
No, hang on, that's different. That's completely different. From
they've taken photographs of women. Media have taken photographs.
No, from a woman who's in her cups, basically, and the dress is rucked up, and she is displaying her underwear and all the rest, and somebody takes a picture. It's horrible. But she wasn't doing that at all. She was completely covered.
I'm also saying these are pictures of women sitting down, not being aware that people are taking photographs, and they're uploaded. They're all over the media. Now, if you download that photograph and you use that on your phone, do we want everyone arrested for that as well? Whilst I think it is disgusting and it's vile, I also think you have to have some proportionality. There is an offence out there. We don't need new legislation. At the moment, legislation is trying to be pushed through for corrosive liquids, acid. So much legislation. What happens is cops are strangled because they've got so many laws.
What would happen to me?
They don't know which one they're meant to use.
What would happen to me if I was standing on the tube with my wife and she was in a skirt and I saw very clearly some creep putting a camera on a stick up between her legs and she wasn't aware of it and taking a picture, and I decked him because I would. Would I get prosecuted?
Probably would, yeah. But I also say there is a bit for me. I've got a daughter and a niece who are 22 and 23 who travel on the tube, and also is about, you know, you have to, sadly, you have to look after yourself. We know increases on the tube, men that come up behind you, young women like yourself.
I'm not being hostile to you, but she did look after herself. She got the camera, she gave it to the police, and then it all fizzled out.
Yeah, and what happens is, even at court, I don't know what you expect they're going to get, but we don't put people into prison, Richard, for serious... We don't put people into prison for rape.
To go to prison for
what do you expect, Gina?
I expect them to be on the Sexual Offences Register.
Criminal conviction.
I'm not going to sit here and play the game of what's more important, terrorism or sexual offence. They're both massive societal issues that both need to be dealt with separately. And I understand the resourcing issue, but you can take that up with the government, don't take that up with the victims of sexual assault.
And you can take that with any crime.
The thing is, Gina, I mean, apart from the terrorist thing and the use of manpower, which is the very least depressing, but probably the real world. I suppose what Sue is also hinting at here is you're at a festival. I don't know what it was in your situation, but there could be a scenario, couldn't there, where a couple of lads drunk, mucking about, and it's a prank. They take a picture that's a little bit like, you know, in the olden days when kids would bring your bra strap in class. They do something like that, and they get put on a sexual offenders register for it, and for the rest of their lives, they're in a place where they perhaps shouldn't be compared with some of the other people on that register. I think that's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, my issue is that if a man's going to put his hands between your legs and take a picture of your genitals without you knowing, what's that man going to do?
Do you think they were doing it as a prank or because they were a serious sexual predator?
I don't think that. I think that's redundant because I think the lads will be lads excuse is so worn out. I think teach your sons to respect women.